What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It has been an awesome first week of January. Still having deer moving on camera, but that's not why we're talking today. Today, we're talking on the podcast about how to stay in shape for hunting. And I brought two special guests on the podcast today. First is Mr. Trevor Farnes. He's the president and founder of Mountain Ops Supplement Group. We're going to talk about the history of their group and how they help us as hunters and other people that like to get in the outdoors. Second was Miss Jaylyn Luciano. She talked about training for the hunt and stuff like that. She's a trainer. She helps people get schedules and routines down to help get in shape for going hunting. And not just hunting, but everyday life too. She does that as well. So stay tuned because we're going to dive right in here in a second.
First thing I do when I climb my stand is bow my head and thank the man. And while I'm waiting on daybreak, I feel my heart race. Up here on Whitetail Ridge, we know how to hunt, we know how to fish. We love our country, we love this land, and we're proud to be free. From the ground we plow, the stands we hang, we believe a man should pull his weight. We know what real hunting really is. Up on Whitetail Ridge.
Well, guys, welcome back to another Hunting with a Passion podcast. I'm here with Mr. Trevor Farnes, right? Said that right, Farnes?
Right, yeah.
A Mountain Ops, and we're just going to dive in a little bit on the company Mountain Ops. I think I told you before the podcast started, I discovered it actually just this year and tried some of the stuff, and then I came on I think it's called the Ambassador Program or something like that you guys have. I'm a part of that now, so I'm really enjoying that and just the community that's all around it. And I've been wanting to tell you, like, too, just looking for another company that, like, you look around and you see all these other supplement companies, and none of them really are as bold about Christianity as you guys are. And I love listening to ConquerCast when I'm at the gym and just hearing all that stuff. So I just want to say thank you for that, first of all. And share a little bit about with us how Mountain Ops got started.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you having me on. This is great. Appreciate your support of Mountain Ops and joining us with that, and the kind words about keeping Christ at the center. That's been from day one, and that kind of just stems back to the type of household I was born into. You know, the parents that I had that kept our lives focused on Jesus Christ. And when you have an opportunity to start your own business, you have the right to kind of dream up how it's going to be run and what you want to focus on. And for me in my life, definitely keeping Christ at the center, no matter what realm of life I'm playing in, whether it be business or church or home or in the community. Making sure that he's recognized has been super important. So at Mountain Ops, our number one core value is recognizing God, and we strive to acknowledge his hand in all things and in all ways. And you can do that even in the workplace. And I would say it's a great place to recognize his hand and his influence in helping, guide your path as you're trying to provide for a family, and as you're building a business and you're trying to provide opportunities for the families that work with you. But Mountain Ops has been on a mission to improve the lives of individuals and families in everything we do for the last 11 years. And it started in 2014 with that goal in mind of transforming and improving lives of individuals who strive to conquer more. And when we speak about conquering more is our mantra at Mountain Ops, and that's in the realms of spiritual, physical, mental, social. And that's our wellness routine. It's our wellness program. It's very holistic. It's not just a supplement brand that's known for vanity or big muscles. We've got plenty of those guys with the big muscles, and we invite all to come and join us. But it's much more about like building a life that allows you to conquer the obstacles or the mountains of life, and that's what the mountain represents. Obviously, we work in the hunting industry out here, especially in the West. We play in the mountains all the time, and In my backyard here, right outside the office, we've got some pretty massive mountains, and we've got wildlife that we see out the window running by all the time. Our office is actually on Mountain Road. And so mountains are a part of life. They're a part of our, the create God's creations out here that we love to go and hunt and recreate in. But there's also a metaphor to that of, the mountains that we're striving to conquer. And maybe it's difficulties we're facing, maybe it's challenges we're facing, or maybe it's achievements that we're going after and summits we'd like to reach. And then the OP stands for outdoor performance supplements. And so, we fuel our bodies and we fuel our lives with these supplements to help us go out and conquer the mountains, physical mountains, spiritual, emotional, whatever they may be. And that's the culture and community that we've built. And the very first product, we were just talking about it before we started, was a product. It's called Enduro. And my father was the first participant of trying this product. He had some pretty severe health issues with his heart, and I was looking for a product that I could create to help him with his neuropathy and blood pressure issues. Read a book that I found some science and ingredients in that I really liked, and it seemed like it could help him. So I took that book to a chemist friend of mine, and they whipped up a concoction, put my dad on it, and he started to feel some tingling sensation in his fingers and toes. He had poor neuropathy, so he couldn't feel his fingers and toes for
Right.
years, and had some stents put in his heart. But after that experience, I knew I was onto something that could potentially help him and others that were suffering from those types of health issues. And then the line has just expanded from there to pre-workouts and proteins and sleep products and vitamins and creatine and beef sticks and
Yes.
protein bars, with protein shakes, meal replacements. We've got a very vast and large assortment of nutritional items to fuel the passion of the hunt, to fuel the passion of conquering more, whether it's in, on the hunt or in your work or with your family. And we have a community of very dedicated, loyal people that are really helping each other conquer more in life. And it's pretty incredible the community that's been built around this mentality of conquering more with the Mountain Ops brand.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of a little snapshot into how we got started. Yeah, one person, it was my dad first, and then it's just
Right.
snowballed. But our approach to business has been very much individual. Obviously, to grow to the masses the way we have, you have to grow with the masses to the masses, but we've tried to keep a very personal approach with the people that we work with and making sure that they have an impactful experience with our brand. And honestly, that all comes back to our core values and how we live them and how they have become our decision making guardrails and helping us run the business the way that we do. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I told you before we started filming, but I listened to that podcast you did with Bo Martonic, and I loved how you dove in about the conquer hunger and how, like, before before you started Mountain Ops, you had those other businesses that you were trying to start, and how, like, with your family and the food and all that. Can you share a little bit about that quickly, like, about the conquer hunger and all that?
yeah, yeah, it's one of the things I love most about what we're doing here at Mountain Ops. It's called Operation Conquer Hunger, and it stems back to my own family's experience in facing our own hunger issues. In 2007, my wife and I decided to start our own businesses, and we felt like we had saved up enough money to do so, and we invested into some real estate deals and then into a franchise. And right around the corner in 2008, the real estate market just crashed, and we found ourselves in the middle of that, lost all the money we had invested there. And then we invested into a retail franchise, and we bought 7 franchises. Instead of buying one and scaling up and building from there, we decided to go big or go home. And it was a tricky situation because the franchisor got shut down by a regulatory agency. It had nothing to do with anything we had done, but it put all the franchisees who had bought into those kind of on hold. We couldn't run our businesses until their investigation was done. We just didn't have staying power, so we ended up closing up those stores. And we had just invested a ton into them, and we actually had to sign personal guarantees on the retail locations that were 5 to 7 grand a month for every one of those locations for the next 5 years. And so we found ourselves in a difficult situation, unable to pay for our mortgage, our cars, a daughter that ended up in the hospital with some kidney and liver issues at the time. And there was a mishap in our insurance going from employed to self-employed, and she was deemed uninsurable. So all the medical bills started to stack up as well. So it just felt like everything was working against us. The mountains that we were
Right.
facing just got bigger and bigger, right? And we were struggling. And we're a very faith-based organization, but even more so individuals and family, where we, it's definitely the topic of conversation. And we turn to the Bible, we read scripture, we look for the miracles of Jesus to kind of give us some hope and some optimism, especially as we were going through those financial times where everything just seemed very difficult. But during that, our eyes were open to the need that was around us because we had the need. We
Right.
were struggling to feed our children. We had a few young children at the time. We've got 4 children now, but at the time, the school lunch balance was stacking up. We couldn't pay for the school lunch. The cupboards were empty. We were starting to tap into our food storage and crack our own wheat to try to feed our kids. My ego was kind of in the way because I didn't want people to know that I was failing with the business that I had started, and so I wasn't reaching out for a lot of help, and just really struggling, and found ourselves often on our knees praying to God for some sense of direction, somebody to be put in our path that could help us, show us the way. I really did feel like a failure, but my wife would never let me feel that way. I have an amazing companion who always just encouraged me, never took our sights off of the goal. But she would let me know maybe we'll have to pivot a little bit, try something new, go here, go there, but let's find a way to succeed. But during all of that, like I said, our eyes were open to the fact that there's a lot of people with hunger issues out there. We found that in our own community where we live, 1 in 4 kids go home on the weekends without enough food in their pantries, and now my family was that 1 in 4. As we've dove into doing something about that, we found that there's communities right around us where 50% of the kids are going home without food in their pantries. And throughout the country, there's different pockets where, it's 75%. And and so we thought, okay, what is God trying to teach us? I believe that there is a wise purpose to all that we experience in life. And we can let life pass us by, or we can see what God's doing for us and see what he's trying to give us as far as perspective goes. And in my opinion, perspective provides an incredible gift, which is empathy. And so as we went through our own struggles financially, and we were struggling to feed our children, and we saw the need that was around us, we thought, you know, as we can, let's do something for those that are going through a similar thing as us. And I believe in life, you're most powerfully positioned to serve the person you either are or the person you once were, because you've come to understand the need through your own need. And so we made a commitment to each other, my wife and I, that we would try to feed God's sheep. We would try to literally with food. Obviously, there's this moment in the Bible where Jesus is standing with Peter and he says, "Feed my sheep. Do you
Yep.
love me,
Yep.
Peter?" And he says, "Yes, feed my sheep." And I love feeding God's sheep with the gospel. I love doing that. But there was a moment where I felt like, okay, we need to do that physically with some food because we know what it's like to go without. And then the miracle in the Bible that I love most, that really kind of pushed us in this direction that we're going, is when there was a young lad who didn't have a lot, but he turned it over to the Lord, a few loaves and a few fishes. And those few loaves and those few fishes were multiplied for the masses. And so my wife and I decided to take the few loaves and fishes that we had, and it started with $22. And we started donating to a group in Malawi, Africa, to feed a child for 30 days with that $22. This was a stretch for us because we didn't have an extra $22 at the time. And but that's where we started. And then this was prior to Mountain Ops. When Mountain Ops began, and we found ourselves in the hunting industry, and there's hunters that are bringing home protein for their families, and then there's people spending money each month to supplement for their nutrition. Right in the midst of all that, there's families and children that could never fathom getting out on the mountain to bring home food or supplementing for nutrition. They're trying to get a
Yep.
meal or two a day.
Yeah.
And so we found ourselves in a really interesting spot where we could do something with the revenue that's coming into Mountain Ops. And we decided that with every order that comes through Mountain Ops, that we would provide a meal to a child or a family in need. And it started slowly, and the community started to be aware that their product purchases were benefiting not just them and their physical body, but they were also, like, the money they were buying that product with was also helping feed a child, and it started to snowball. And I never thought that, like that parable or that miracle, that it would be for the masses. I just thought, let's do what we can. And here's
Right.
our loaves and fishes. And but we just announced that we've surpassed the 11 millionth meal having been donated through Operation Conquer Hunger. We announced that in December on Giving Tuesday this last year. And truly seeing that the Lord, when we turn over to Him what's already His,
Yep.
uh, He can do so much more with it than we could on our own. And He multiplies and He multiplies, and then the 12 baskets come back full. And then what do you do with the 12 baskets? Now you have additional resource, and you
That's
put
right.
it back in, feeding more and to feeding more. And that's just this process that we've seen. It's a beautiful process that we found within an organization, that you can do so much more than just transact with a product and a customer and make some money. You
Yeah.
can do that, but you can provide a product that blesses them and a way to bless others through that product. And that's where a lot of my passion just resides. I'm looking over my computer right here. I have a scripture sitting on a desk, and it says "Bread of Life," and I love the fact that we can go and fill a belly and put some food in
Yeah.
someone's stomach. But I also love that it's tied back to this miracle of Jesus, and I love the fact that He allows us to be a part of sharing Him
Yeah.
as the bread of life, and bringing hope and confidence into the lives of others through His message and through His word and through His life and sacrifice and example. And so that's what Mountain Ops is really all about. We provide an incredible product that we know works, that people will benefit from, that allows us in this system to utilize it to bless someone else who could never fathom purchasing that product maybe in the first place. But we can put some food in their belly and inspire some hope and confidence in their life that somebody's aware and somebody's there to help and support them.
Man, that's awesome, man. After listening to you talk and your passion like that, I feel like I could run through a brick wall right now, man.
That's
That's
good.
solid. I like being a part of something like that.
Well,
Um,
I'm glad you're a part of it.
let's talk about the products. What what needs does Mountain Ops meet that other supplement companies that they don't meet?
Yeah, good question. There's a lot of options out there, right? And it's interesting because um, if I had somebody come to me now and say, I want to get into supplements, I'd be like, yeah, with everyone else, there's like this sea of sameness out there of saturation. And I knew that getting into it. It's not something I was unaware of. I knew this was a saturated place.
Yeah.
Um, but Mountain Ops found a group of individuals that hadn't been served well. The hunting audience was not showing up necessarily in GNC. They weren't working
Yeah.
out in Gold's gym. They were out in God's gym, and nobody
Right.
was really speaking their language. It was all about muscles and vanity, and it's about me, 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 and how do I look, and uh, and so first and foremost, our messaging approaches an audience, and we've built a community around like-minded individuals whose passion is the same, and that is to provide for family. It's to be out in the conservation efforts, to be out on the passion of the hunt. It's to recognize and honor God in all that we do. It's to be out in His creations. And so our message with our product resonates well with this audience, a place that wasn't as
Yeah.
saturated. Um, and then our products were very known for the way they taste. Like we have the
Yeah.
the best tasting products on the market. So well, I'm going to get into the benefits, but if you have a product that the benefits are incredible, but it doesn't taste great, you're only going to get a small amount of the population to even
Yeah.
continue with the product because they just don't enjoy it. So we knew we needed to provide something that people would enjoy taking and want to take again. And that comes by way of the way it tastes and the way it makes you feel. Um, the product that we just talked about for my father, for instance, this is all nitric oxide based, arginine and citrulline, and that's one thing that we differentiate with a lot of our top selling products. If you look at um, Enduro, Ignite, and Yeti, our pre-workout, they all have the same base formula, which is in this Enduro. The
Okay.
Enduro is kind of the base to those three products. Arginine and citrulline, which are nitric oxide boosters. It's a molecule in the body which dilates the blood vessels and arteries, allows for more blood flow and circulation. And so when you're working out, you get more pump to the muscles, but you also get more oxygen, blood flow throughout the body. So if you're an endurance athlete or if you're a hunter that's out on the mountain for a long period of time, you want that increased blood flow and oxygenation throughout the day. This product is incredible, and the Enduro is non-caffeinated. And then we take the same product and we add a few ingredients to it to create a pre-workout where you're getting all that pump and blood flow to the muscles, but then you have some creatine, some beta-alanine, some glutamine, niacin. Those are all certain ingredients that help you not fatigue as quickly when you're working out or when you're out on the mountain and you're doing something strenuous. You always want that increased blood flow and circulation, and then these other ingredients to support it. Ignite is our number one selling product, and I'm trying to find we sell it in trail packs as well, so you can have it just convenient, easy on the go. And it basically takes the enduro, adds some caffeine, so
Yep.
you get some energy, and then a brain ignite blend, which are nootropics, and they help you with cognitive function, mental clarity. So you're getting cardiovascular, energy, and brain support. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a three in one punch.
Yeah.
And
Ignite's my favorite.
yeah,
I use that one a lot.
for most people it's their favorite. They just feel good on it. I honestly start every single day. We sell this in flavors like this that you'd mix into cold water and drink, or it doesn't matter if it's cold water, but just water. We sell them in flavors as well that you mix up in hot water, like cocoa, mocha.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
We
I
have
had the Ignite Charged Cocoa a couple weeks ago, and I
yep.
I was drinking that every morning instead of a cup of coffee. I was drinking that, and it tastes so good. I was surprised how like I would.
That's how I start every day. Honestly, I wake up every morning. I roll out of bed onto my knees. I say a prayer. I want to make sure that God knows He's my priority and that I need His support throughout the day. I go into my home office. I turn on a heater by my feet. I open up the scriptures and I drink my hot ignite. That's my first hour of every day. I call it my hour of power,
Yeah.
and it's how I conquer the morning to conquer the day. And it's with a hot cup of charged cocoa ignite,
Yep.
the scriptures, and some time with God. So I swear by that routine. And so if you've tried it, you know it tastes really good. We also sell like a cocoa flavor, a mocha, or let's see, a chai flavor,
Okay. Yeah.
salted caramel slumber product. So it's like we like to wake people up in the morning and then put them to sleep at night.
Yep.
So we sell those products, and I drink that most nights as well, where I'm getting another hot cup of cocoa before, and it just puts me to sleep and keeps me asleep. It's awesome.
I haven't tried the slumber packets yet, but I've been doing like the slumber gummies, and
Yep.
those things, man, they put me to sleep just like that.
Yeah,
I love
I
them.
love the gummies. I in fact when I'm hunting, I'll only use the gummies. And then if I'm traveling, I just take the gummies. If I've got a long flight, we just went to Thailand in December and we had a very long flight, and I've done South Africa a few times. I always take the slumber gummies on those flights so I can sleep because I can't get comfortable on planes. But
Oh yeah,
so we've got a huge assortment of products, but I would say the products, there's an effect to them that people love. They're clean ingredients, and the taste of the products, uh it's very important for us to nail the taste and the flavor so that people enjoy it and they want to keep coming back for more. So
absolutely. Now, how do you get like your feedback from the field, from people testing your products? How do you get through that feedback?
just like sorting through it,
Yeah,
or what?
yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah,
When testing a new product or just on existing products, is
just
that?
on anything, new products, existing products. You can even dabble in some new ones if you want.
Yeah, it's on existing products typically. I mean, you should see the amount of messages that we get back, or customer feedback. A lot of it comes just naturally from them initiating a conversation or sending us their feedback. Here's what's going on. We're pretty heavy on social media. We respond quickly. Um, we've also done some research studies to know, like, how is this for you? What is the product feedback that you have? Is it working the way you expected it to? What do you want to see out of product improvements, and that type of thing. We'll do that, a few times a year, where we'll proactively reach out to a group and kind of do a study. We did a very large one about 3 years ago, and there was thousands of participants in it. And they were using our products and they were using competitor products, and so we could see how we stood up against some of the competition. It was really interesting. The big headliner for us on that research study came back as Mountain Ops is a brand people trust, which
Yeah,
was huge for us to have that feedback. We People need to trust what they're putting in their body. They need to trust the people that are behind it, and so that was awesome. when that study came back in particular, it showed our likelihood to buy, likelihood to repurchase, and it's an NPS score, which is a Net Promoter Score,
Mhm.
was higher than any other
Wow.
supplement brand in the industry, and our flavor profiles were the number one in the industry. So we got some really good feedback there. And then along the way, we'll have like there'll be research come out on certain new ingredients, and we go to different expos that we learn some of this stuff from. We have chemists that we work with that give us feedback on new and researched ingredients that we might want to look at improving product with. And so we're always in the process of it is the product where we want it to be. Can it improve? Should we improve it? Is it, And so our product team is made up of a really solid group of individuals. Every Wednesday, they're straight across from me, the hall here. They're in there testing new flavors, new product ingredient profiles, and then everything's tested in the field because we believe that if it works in the field in the most backcountry locations, if it can work for somebody that's putting their body through something like that, then it can work anywhere. And so, we'll have ambassadors, we'll have customers that we'll seed product out to when we're testing to do product testing and feedback to us. And just kind of depends on the product and where it's at in the stage and such. But there's a lot of voices that get brought into the mix when we're finalizing a product. The right voices to make sure that we're hitting all the marks that we need to for the customer to enjoy and benefit from the product. So
I got you. What's next for your company? Like, are you looking to? I know there's new stuff coming out. You guys just came out with the new flavor, the spicy mango.
yeah,
I got my sample pack the other day.
yeah.
It was different. It had a good initial flavor. I'm not a big spicy guy, so like the after flavor, like the cayenne pepper, I believe is in there. I tasted that like as soon as like it was down. I was like, okay, that's different, but I mean, it would be good for like on a long hunt if you need to wake up or something like that. It would be a good,
Just for it to jolt you.
yeah,
It's an interesting product. That flavor, it's I mean that the product is not polarizing. That flavor could be polarizing where you're either gonna like it or not.
yeah,
I'm actually I'm not a spice guy, but it's a unique enough flavor because you don't really think I'm gonna drink something spicy. That's not
right,
something that
yeah.
typically goes. So when people try it, they're like, "Oh, that was interesting," and they'll put it down and they'll either love it or they'll be like, "That was so interesting, I gotta try it
Let me
again."
run it
Like,
back. Yeah,
you know,
that's
and
how I
so
was. I kept coming back, and I was like, that's different.
yeah,
And then
yeah, it's
I I I turned my back, and my kid was drinking it, and he enjoyed it.
well, he likes the spice then, huh?
I was like, hey,
Um,
give me that back. You don't need any more energy, kid.
yeah,
You're 2 years
no,
old.
that's
um,
funny. That flavor for sure. There's certain flavors that we just know like the majority of them are gonna love, and then there's other flavors that are fun to play around with, and a certain population's gonna absolutely love it. That's gonna want it's that one's gonna be one that certain people will beg for over and over again, and then other people will be like, no, that's not for me. It's
yeah.
not like right in the middle. Um, so sorry, what was the
I'm
question
sorry.
there?
Yeah, I kind of went down a rabbit hole. Like, what's next with the company? Like,
Oh, okay.
if you can share some new things that you guys are thinking about rolling out in 2026 here.
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit and a couple things that are a little top secret, but I'm sure you being on the ambassador team, you'll hear about them a little bit before others. We just recently launched the big stick, the beef sticks. I don't know if
Yes,
you've had some of those.
yes.
Um,
I had not
and
had a single hunt without one in it.
Good. Yeah. I mean that right there is taking on a life of its own and really building into some incredible opportunities for us. You think of supplements and like taking this and selling it to someone. There's a little bit of education that goes into this, right? And people are like, okay, well, what's it gonna do? And you sell to a retailer, they're like, okay, tell us. And we sell to retailers that have never carried supplements before, so they're like, oh, this is interesting. Like we've never had a supplement on our shelves. What is it gonna do? It takes a little bit more time to get it into
Yeah,
their system and
yeah,
get it going and education. So there's some hurdles that way. You take our big stick and you go to them and they're like, whoa, this is a big beef stick,
yeah,
20 grams of protein per stick. And you don't have to educate me on beef. Does it taste good? Does it work good? Everyone wants to eat a good beef stick.
yep,
So and when people try them, they're like, holy cow, this tastes good. The texture's amazing. And I get 20 grams of protein from this. So it's almost like a no-brainer sell. And so we are scouring the market with that right now. You'll start to see it in so many different locations this coming year.
I hope
We
so. My
launched
wife's
it.
always asking me. She's like, "Hey,
Yeah,
when you get your monthly deliverables, can you get me some more meat sticks?" Because she
yeah.
loves them things.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's I love that she loves it. It's good. I mean, it's kind of there's a few other products similar to that that are a little bit not out in the public yet, that will be coming our way that are maybe a little more food based, all around protein, right? And making sure that people get enough protein throughout the day. We've got new flavors of Ignite coming.
Awesome.
We've got a different series of Ignite. What were we trying? We just launched a clear protein this last year, and it's doing well. So you can, instead of like a chocolate or peanut butter, it's like the strawberries and such. That's a clear
Okay.
protein.
I'm
Um,
waiting for a breakfast item to come out.
well, you might be onto something there. So
Oh, hey. 'Cause I know like the Venture bars, I'm like, they don't really cut as a breakfast item. I was talking to a fellow ambassador on a previous podcast that's going to go with this one as well, but she's a fitness trainer, and her and I were talking about that. I was like, they need to come out with like, I don't know if like Pop Tart, like a healthy Pop Tart or cereal or something. Like I'd be down for that.
yeah,
'Cause
no, keep
I'm not a big breakfast guy, and usually I'm like getting up and like grabbing coffee or my Ignite or whatever and heading out the door. So it'd be nice to have like a bar to take with me to work or something like that. That instead of like stopping at the gas station and getting junk breakfast sandwiches or something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, we've got some really cool stuff I think you're gonna love in the works, and some new series with some of our ambassadors that we've worked with for a really long time. Um, yeah, I mean we're always innovating and improving even on base products that we already have, and some of those will come to the light this next year. So really excited about what's coming up.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's like since starting with the supplements that you guys have this summer, I've noticed already like new flavors already in, and I'm enjoying that because like you don't see that a lot with other supplements. It's like the same boring flavor, the
Mhm.
same. That's one thing too. You were saying about the taste earlier.
Yeah.
I was taking, I forget what it was. I think it might have been bucked up or something, but like it always tasted chalky. And
Mm.
I never taste that with you guys' stuff. It's always like, as long as you mix it good, it tastes really good. So, um,
No, that's good. I'm glad you're having the experience you're having, and I know the product team. I mean, they work their tails off to make sure that the products are hitting the mark, right,
I
on
bet.
so many different levels. And some products take, over a year to really refine and complete and get it where we want it to be, and then we launch, and everything's kind of strategically staged out. So there's a lot coming this year. There's already plans into 2027 of what's
Awesome.
to come and things that we're working on. So yeah, a lot of exciting things coming our way. But
Awesome. Well, before we go, I was going to have you do a little plug on the 90-day challenge. I'm trying to get more and more people to do it. I'm hoping to get this podcast out by Sunday, hopefully. That way they have time to sign up for Monday. So just explain a little bit about that and what all that kind of entails.
yeah, that's great. And if you can, because I think the cutoff is Sunday evening,
Oh, that's
Sunday
Sunday.
night, midnight. So and then if people don't get in, they can still join in and work with us over the 90 days. They just won't be eligible if they don't sign up before Monday, for the prizes and such. But we've been doing this Conquer 90 challenge for a very long time. We do it at the beginning of every year. It's the time that people kind of jump into their resolutions and their new year, new you type theme. But it's an opportunity to join a group of individuals that kind of hold each other accountable. In our face, there's a private Facebook group. Once you sign up for, you're
Yep.
invited to come join. Everyone is so optimistic and encouraging and helpful and supportive, sharing like, this is working for me. Here's the routine I'm doing. Here's the diet I'm on, and people post in there just kind of to keep themselves accountable to a group.
Yeah.
And then over the next 90 days, you're in. You have to submit some photos, submit your starting weight, and write a little bit about what your goals are for this. And then you also get access through that 3 months for free to Rich Froning's Mayhem
Again.
Fitness app. Mayhem Hunt app, and that has all sorts of fitness programs that you can decide. Okay, I'm doing this. I want to do it CrossFit style. I want to do it bodybuilding style. I want to, whatever, just a functional fitness type model. Then you can choose what works for you, and every day just go in there and follow along and do the plan. There's also some trainers that are in that group that if you want to work with individually, you can hire them to help you with your plans. Um, and then at the end, two participants, a male and a female, each win $10,000. They win a prize package also from Mountain Ops of gear and all sorts of stuff. They get flown out here to the headquarters in Utah, July 9th, for the annual Conquer Summit. They're here for a few days with us. They get their lodging, food, everything covered, transportation, everything it's all inclusive. And they get to come out and be part of that. And then I think an annual subscription to Rich Froning's programming. So it's incredible. But we've done this for many years now. It's powerful. It's impactful to see so many transformations that occurs. Our team internally can't win, but we participate alongside our community,
That's awesome.
and we do some internal winnings. Our internal team actually, the winner gets to go on a South African hunting safari, and
Wow,
then the second place wins a little bit of money, and the third place wins a little bit of money. Second and third place here at Mountain Ops, there the team members' families can participate in and win. But
that's
that
cool.
that first place prize internally to South Africa has to be an employee of Mountain Ops that
Okay.
that wins that. So
That's awesome.
every year the hunt's a little different because we have our own. We have incorporated our own hunt draw here at Mountain Ops. So every year I buy a certain number of tags, and based off of people's tenure and participation in Conquer Hunger and stuff, they have points. And then at the beginning of the year, they get to put in points to those different hunts.
That's
And then
awesome.
on top of that, yeah, so every year they have some opportunities to draw some hunts or to win that hunt through the Conquer 90 challenge.
That's really cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've been trying to do a little more going to the gym, just try to prepare for it, and drinking lots of water, because that's one thing I was really nervous about, was the drinking a gallon of water. I'm like, man, I don't even like water. But
No, the water is water and sleep are surprisingly probably two of the most important things that will help people in their transformation.
now,
So,
since I have you on here, I can ask you this too, since you're probably the main judge. If you take supplements, does that count towards your gallon of water?
oh yeah, because I can't drink water on its own.
Okay,
I
yeah,
personally,
same.
yeah,
That's
no,
what I said to my
so
wife. I was like, straight water, like straight gallon. That's a lot of water.
uh, no, but
But
you mix whatever you want in. I hardly ever have anything without like either BCAs or Hydrate or Enduro or Ignite. Like everything I'm drinking has something of Mountain Ops in it,
okay, good,
and
good.
I couldn't down the water otherwise. I hate the taste of water on its
Yeah,
own.
me too. Me too. All right. Well, thank you for coming on here, Trevor. Where can the people find you? See your updates on Mountain Ops and all that.
Yeah, just my name, Trevor Farnes, on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, and then also just at Mountain Ops on our socials, MTN OPS. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come on here and discuss the history, and also help me learn some things too about the company.
yeah, you bet. No, I appreciate the
All right, everybody,
opportunity.
welcome back to another podcast here. I am on with Jaylyn, and we're going to talk about nutrition and getting in shape for the hunting season on the off season. Jaylyn, welcome. Can you give us a little bio about yourself and what you do, and add some credibility why you can discuss on the topic of nutrition and fitness and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So first, I want to say thanks for having me. And so I'm Jaylyn. I'm almost 30 years old. I've been hunting for, I think, oh gosh, it hasn't really been that long. I've been in the hunting industry for 3 years now, maybe 3.5. I grew up in sports. I was playing volleyball. I was in track and field. I was swimming. I was doing all those types of things. And hunting was something that the guys did, and I never really, was invited. So my world was sports, and that's where my love for exercise came from in the first place. When it came time to go to college, I wanted to be a teacher, but everybody I talked to and looked up to said, do not be a teacher. Things are different this year, and things are continuing to change, and it's not what it used to be. So I was like, well, what else do I really like? And I was like, well, I was always injured in sports, not necessarily a good thing, but I was always in PT for something. It was never anything too serious. And I was the person that's like, I'm not just doing the exercise that someone gives me. I want to know why. Why am I
Yeah.
doing this? What is it doing? What is it helping? How is it helping? And so when I went to college, I took a lot of anatomy and physiology classes. I was going to do physical therapy. Long story short, I ended up still getting my teaching degree. And then fast forward a few years, I'm not teaching and I'm back in the health and fitness space. But I have been in the health and fitness industry now for 8 years. It was always a secondary job for me once I graduated college. And then just within the past couple of years, it has now become one of my jobs. I still have multiple streams of income. But it is more, it's taking more of my energy now and more of my focus, and it's something that I want to make my full-time job. Again, I have 8 years of experience of training clients, and working with so many different ages, men and women, and in different phases of their lives. And since getting into hunting about 3.5 years ago, I have really geared fitness and nutrition and everything towards hunting because it really is a lifestyle,
Right.
not only being healthy, but it just hunting in general. And so I've made that like my life. It's now my job. It's now my life. I live it out day to day. And so I did become certified with NASM for personal training and then for sports nutrition. And I still am working. I'm never going to stop learning. I'm still working on what other certifications can I get? What else can I learn? What else, can I do to better myself, to educate myself more, to then pass that on to others.
There you go. Yeah, and I'm sure like like you getting the teaching degree also probably helps in the area of training too, because then you can how to like some people are just teachers like natural born. Some are I've had to learn a lot. I'm not a good teacher at all. I'm more of a like, here, let me show you how to do it, like get out of my way kind of person than like,
Yeah.
and step by step and stuff like that. So like I said earlier, I want to talk about like preparing on the off season for hunting season. Why do you think one of the questions I have is why do you think that people wait till the last minute to prepare like physically for like hunting season?
Because that's when urgency shows up. A lot of people can't think into the future and they think, oh, I have time. And time, we all know how quick time goes. It's not until the hunt starts to feel real, when you have your tag in your hand, when people start, your buddies are talking about making the actual plans, and you see it on the calendar. It's not a couple pages away. It just seems so far away, and it's really hard for people to understand the urgency that it takes time. And they're like, oh, I can do it later. I have time. When really you need weeks, months, years to just always continue to build up your strength and your training for season thing. So I think just, people wait for the urgency, and that always comes way too late.
Yeah. I'm kind of like new to the like getting in shape for the hunt type of game because like I grew up over towards like Lancaster County, so it's not as like mountainous. Like I live in like Altoona area, like right here in the Alleghenies and stuff, and so like the mountains and everything are totally different and like new to me. Like I moved here about 4 years ago, and like I just always went into the hunt like I did every year. You're just gonna walk right into the same spot every time. Whereas the more and more that I hunt, the more I'm getting farther and further away from the truck and realizing I gotta get a deer out of here or whatever. So that's something like this year. I guess a little bit last year. We can talk a little bit later on, but like that's where I started talking, researching about mountain ops and stuff like that. A friend of mine, he's a guide out in Idaho. He's a elk hunting guide, and he's kind of the one that kind of got me onto their stuff because I was trying last spring. I was trying to get away from energy drinks, and I just couldn't like find something that would like take its place. I tried
Been
Gatorade.
there
I tried
before. Yep.
yeah, body armor, stuff like that. But I just wasn't getting that like quick like energy that I was in the morning. And so then that's when talking to my buddy, I discovered Mountain Ops and started taking like Ignite and Yeti and stuff like that. I'm like, man, this is like, it's a healthier alternative, but I'm still getting that height in the morning or hype in the morning. And then it turned into the summer trying to look for something that, like I said earlier, I don't really like to drink a lot of water, but then they have the hydrate with the different flavors and stuff like that. I discovered those and I was like, wow, like it's a game changer. Um,
Yeah.
so I kind of like touched a little bit, but like how does working out and like getting fit and getting in shape help with the hunt, do you think?
I mean, you want to stay out there as long as possible and you don't want, anything to hinder you. And also, depending on how strenuous your hunt is, it's going to depend on if, where you're hunting, what state you're in, what game you're hunting, and what you're after. But it could get to the point where if you're elk hunting, you're just in survival mode if you're not prepared. And then you can't glass up a bull, you can't make the correct decisions, you can't steady yourself to make the like a good shot and an ethical shot. Like it comes down to if you're not preparing your body for the hunt, your body's in survival mode and you cannot make the correct decisions to have then a successful hunt. So you want to be able to increase your cardio so you have a better work capacity so you can last longer. And then the strength, I mean, it speaks for itself. Like you're hiking mountains, you're carrying stuff, you're packing things out. Like not even just your pack out, but when you pack in, like even whitetail hunting, when I'm just walking in for a day hunt, even here close enough to home, you're still carrying things, you're still hiking, and you're still doing a lot. And even if it is just a flat walk, like it's still a lot of steps, and people underestimate the just Mother Nature in general. People underestimate Mother Nature and the toll that it can take on you. I mean, just being out there, I don't know if you've hunted late season and how much. This is my first time ever hunting late season.
Same.
It is
Yeah.
cold. It is cold. And just being outside in the cold takes it out of you. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
You're just outside in the cold. That takes it out of you. And I think people underestimate that. And so being prepared for the hunt, like you want to be able to stay out there longer. You want to make it to the animal. You want to, not be the only, like it could end up that you're the only person in your way between harvesting the animal that you dreamed about, that you've always wanted to, but because you were not prepared, you're going to miss your opportunity. It's just as simple as we want to make sure our guns and our bows are tuned in. You have to make sure your body's tuned in as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to get a little bit going this summer. As I like the first question, I was like, why do people wait? Well, that was me this year. I was like, oh, I can just, walk, just do some like 2 mile hikes or whatever, like around my house and stuff. And I went to Ohio to film with Johnny Stewart, and I could not keep
Yeah.
up with him. That man's like a mountain goat. Like he just was going up.
Oh, he is.
I was like,
He's on
slow down,
another
slow down.
level.
Oh man. So yeah, that kind of like hit me in the head. I was like, okay, like I was like trying to like stay with him. My head was pounding and Johnny's just like not even breathing hard. And I'm like, all right, I need to get in shape. I'm in less shape than I realized. So what type of workouts do you like focus on for hunting season specifically?
I mean, if you are just gearing everything towards like right before hunting season, it's going to be a lot of cardio and mobility, and it's going to be like it's going to be under load training. So, in a sense, it's going to be like a lot of farmers carries, mountain climbers, certain movements where you're moving, but while you have weight, like rucking, putting on weight on your backpack and walking. Um, and again, like farmers carrying things while you are moving is going to be key. Strength training is important, obviously, but it's not everything because mobility is huge. That is like the biggest thing that holds people back. You can be strong, but if you don't have mobility, you're going to hit a wall in your strength and you're going to hit a plateau where you can't grow your muscles anymore. You're also not going to be able to move very well.
Yeah.
So the muscle you do have, you can't even use. Something that's really also good again, leading up to a hunt is going to be core stability and then your posture as well. And just like all your posterior things, like your hamstrings, glutes, lower back. I mean, your core goes into every single movement. And then
Right.
obviously legs and lower body. When you're walking and hiking, that's just typical. And then you don't need to neglect your upper body. That's going to be important too. But those are a lot of the main things that are the most important for hunting
Yeah.
season.
So basically, you're saying don't skip leg day.
Don't skip leg
Don't skip leg
day.
day. Um. So if someone's says they only have like 3 days a week to like work out, um, is that um, is that something that like mainly like legs and like cardio is something you would say like to mainly focus on?
Yeah, so a lot of people, I mean, I program for people right now that only have 3 days, maybe four to work out. And the way I split it up is I also do a lot where I do rotations of workouts. I don't always keep it super structured, depending on the time of year,
Yeah.
what they're planning for, how long are you working out for until your hunt is? Like, are you coming to me like last minute? Are you coming to me with 6 months? But just straight across the board, because just like I said, so much goes into it, but straight across the board, if you're coming to me and you say, I have 3 days a week, what should I prioritize? Probably going to tell you do a full body workout and then do some conditioning with some legs. So that's going to be like your rucking, your farmer's carry, but we're also going to do squats and lunges in there. And then the third day, we're going to do mobility and recovery. And as long as you are consistent, that's going to beat the complexity every single time.
Okay. Yeah, my first day back to the gym, like I wanted to not be the person that's like, oh, New Year's Day, like let's do it. So I was starting a couple weeks before Christmas, and for some stupid reason, I was like, let's do full body. Like, why not? Like, I haven't worked any of these muscles hardly in a long time, and yeah, that was a mistake. Like, I could not move for like 2 days. It was
Everything hurt.
everything hurt. I was like, well, now that I can have a schedule, I can hurt that like my legs can hurt for a couple days, well, and then I'll do chest or whatever. So trying to get back into that schedule was
Yes.
pretty fun. So what are lessons you've learned in the gym that have helped you out in the field?
I mean, honestly, showing up when you don't want to, motivation is not a real thing. I mean, you feel it. You feel motivation sometimes, just like you do urgency, but it's all about discipline and willpower. I think a huge thing, some people laugh at me when I say this, but it's so true. You have to control your breath under stress. When your
Yeah,
body is stressed, when you're tired, when you get to talk, there were two instances. One, I was out west. I was on a mule deer hunt. I did not have a tag. I was just there as an extra camera person and just to learn it. I had I was very lucky that I was able to just tag along and have that experience to learn that hopefully one day, I do have a tag in my pocket. And we are sprinting and I am like, we get to the top of the mountain and I'm like so out of breath and I can't breathe. And I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not holding a gun right now because I don't think I'd be able to make the
yeah,
shot.
yeah,
And honestly, back here in Pennsylvania, same thing happened to me 2 years ago in turkey season. We were driving around in the morning, trying to figure out like where we wanted to park. We knew we wanted to hunt this one spot. Well, we were kind of at a loss on where to go. We were stumped. And all of a sudden we hear a bird and we're like, let's go. But it was almost fly down time and we're still at the road. He is way up here. And
yeah,
I was like, we got to get on his level
yeah,
or this hunt's not gonna work. So we're sprinting up this hill. And again, I did have the gun in my hand that time. And I'm like, I have got to learn to control my breathing
yeah.
or I'm gonna spook this bird and I'm never gonna have a shot.
Right.
Um, so the breathing thing was something that was like one of my goals to really put, you know, make it a priority.
Yeah,
And then honestly, the other thing is when you're in the gym, you should be pushing yourself hard. Should not be walking through the motions. You should be intentional about it. And when you put yourself consistently in uncomfortable places, when you're out in the woods and you're uncomfortable, your body and mind's going to be like, I've been here before. We can keep going.
yeah, yeah. A big part of I haven't really thought about this hunting wise, but a big part of the gym is recovery. Is there something that you um, do or take, say after hunting, like you were saying, like up when you were with the mule deer hunt or the turkey hunt or whatever? Like, is there something like after something like that strenuous of a hunt that you did to help recover faster for, like, say the next day or whatever?
So as far as supplements go, I get your electrolytes in, especially when you're running and gunning and all that kind of stuff. You need your electrolytes, and I usually have, again, you're out and about, you're hunting. You might not have, depending on where you're at, what hunt you're doing, depending on your food source and things like what you have access to. Again, supplement wise would be the electrolytes and a protein powder. And then also Mountain Op specifically has something called Reload. But other than that, outside of supplements, I prioritize stretching and mobility, but also sleep. It is very hard to get enough sleep during hunting season.
Yep.
Um, I mean, just giving an example for turkey season, that's when our days get longer. The sun is out longer.
Yeah.
So you're not only that means like you're hunting all day.
Yeah.
But
Well, unless you're
whenever
in
it's deer
PA, it's till
season,
noon, but
oh yeah, that's true. But when when you're hunting deer, it gets dark at 5 o'clock and then you have the rest of the evening.
yeah,
Turkey season isn't like that. You're hunting all day. You're up super early. You're on birds all day, and then you go to bed late, and then you just do it all over again. And that's something where, and if you add travel in there and you're going to other states and things like that, that's where you have to prioritize sleep. And I don't mean, oh, I'll just get like a 20-minute nap in here and there. Like, no, actually be like, I'm going to bed. I have to sleep. Like, you have to prioritize sleep.
yeah,
That's number one for your recovery.
yeah. Yeah, I have found with what you were saying about getting sleep and stuff. I have at the time during deer season, I had a 6 month old that was going through sleep regression and all that, and going from work, and then like I worked like 410, so I had Fridays and Saturdays off. So I was like every Friday and Saturday I was trying to hunt, but like I was just so tired from work, and then the kid being up, I discovered the Mountain Ops the sleep gummies. And
Yes.
oh my word, those things are like taking melatonin, but I know they, like, reading the back of it, they don't have that much melatonin in it, but it's still like I was waking up feeling really refreshed at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning because I was going to deep sleep like right away as soon as I hit the pillow.
Mhm.
And
If I can, I use the powder.
that was the powder
And
better, you think?
I think I mean, it's gonna affect your body different. And I almost use it as in like just depending on what season I'm in. So like if I'm home or like if I have a jet boil and I can make like a hot drink, I will
Yeah,
make that every single night. But there are times where you're traveling and stuff where you're on the go and it's easier to take those gummies. They do work very well as on top of the powder.
yeah. I tried the couple weeks ago. I tried the cocoa, and I really liked that. And then
Yeah.
the Ignite hot drinks was awesome. But
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah. Hold on just a second. One of my friends is coming to talk to me.
Oh, that's okay.
So yeah, I was saying I like the Ignite Charged Cocoa was like one of my like top favorites, like in the colder months, like during rifle season and stuff like that. Just
Oh
taking
yeah.
that like to the woods and just sipping it. Since we're on the topic of mountain ops, what is your like? I know we had talked and you said you don't use them like specifically. You use some of their stuff, but like, what are some other options you use? And you can also say like what you like to use for the mountain ops as well, like supplement
So
wise.
yeah. So supplement wise, I always just I like to preface that supplements aren't something that you need to rely on. You should try to get sources elsewhere. But for the most part, there's a lot of areas where we as humans just lack from getting in our food. And so I'll just give you kind of like a rundown of like just the day in my life. I will wake up and put collagen either in water, coffee, whatever I drink in the morning. Um, and
Now,
that's
what
20
what
grams
is
of
that?
protein.
Okay.
Collagen, I mean, a lot of people think it's for your hair and nails, but it's a lot more than just that. It's a lot for joint health. And
Okay.
so that's important for both men and women, joint health, that helps a ton. And so I drink that first thing in the morning, gives me 20 grams of protein right off the bat before I even have breakfast. And again, joint health. And then, but after a workout, I will have the Magnum. Right now I've been on for a couple months now, the Magnum Clear
Okay.
protein. And I will also put creatine in there. Sometimes I'll put creatine in the morning. Regardless, I have it every day. But that's typically like an after workout thing. I always work out and then get hangry on my drive home before dinner. So that like tides me over while I go home. So I'm
Yeah.
not like
It's like a
barging
milkshake.
in the door mad.
Yeah. 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 I like. Go
And
ahead.
then
Sorry.
hydrate every day for electrolytes. And I do drink greens sometimes. It's not an everyday thing for me personally. And then the slumber is what I drink at night
That's what I was
before
saying.
bed. And that's pretty much my go-to. And it's all Mountain Ops. All of that is.
Yeah.
I have some vitamins that are another company. That would be, I take a vitamin for gut health and a B vitamin, D vitamin, and omega 3s.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I just ordered a lot of that, the Magnum, and then I got a Yeti. And what was the other thing I got? I couldn't remember. It was some
Oh, well,
other.
yeah, I
Oh,
guess I did
creatine.
forget Ignite. I just
Ignite.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so like the Ignite I like use for like an everyday, like I'll take it,
Mhm.
like I took it today on the way to work just because I ran out of coffee, um but I like to use that like as an everyday thing. And then I did like a little bit of research and like through the Mountain Up stuff because like I wanted to figure out, because I've never taken a lot of supplements or anything like that. I took a little bit of BCAs, or however you say that, BCCA,
Mhm.
whatever it is, a little bit last year, and it really helped me with my recovery. Like I felt a lot better. Like the neck, I wasn't as sore and stuff like that. So I was gonna get some of that, but
Mhm.
I saw that the Magnum kind of does the same thing, and it's a bigger container than their BCAs or whatever. So I went with that. So I'm anxious to try them out. Have you used any of their protein bars? The
Yes.
Those are
Yeah,
so
so
good.
I was gonna say, I forgot to mention Enduro too. Have you ever had the Enduro?
I have, yeah. I used it a little bit in the summer. I didn't really notice a difference between that and the Ignite. I felt like the same results
So
from it.
when I use the Enduro, it's pretty much when I want, like when I know, like I can be sometimes bad with caffeine and how much I drink, but I've tried to get better with like not drinking as much.
Yeah,
And the Enduro is an option that doesn't have as much
that's
caffeine
right.
in it,
Yeah,
and it's more of a natural boost.
yeah,
And I'll have that, like it'll give me that boost the same that Ignite does, but I won't have a hard time, like I won't stay up super late or I won't have a hard time going to sleep or anything
right.
if I have it later in the day.
Yeah,
And then yeah, oh my gosh. So I've had the Venture bars. I think the cookies and cream one is the one that I
that,
like the most.
yeah.
I've been on the what are the other protein bars called? I forget the actual name of them.
I can't remember.
But I do the caramel crunch ones.
Okay.
Those ones I have been hooked on.
Yeah, so I tried. I think they gave me like a free trial on the protein bars or whatever. I'm with their whatever that thing is you do every month for them and stuff. You get like free delivery bowls or whatever, and I'm on
Yeah,
that
yeah,
with
I do the
them.
same thing.
And I was like, I'm not a big like bar guy, but I tried the cookies and cream one, and like I'm like
Mhm.
you, when I get like done with the gym, I get very hungry. And so I'll eat that, and I'm like, man, like that is like fantastic. Like it holds me over to at least dinner or whatever. Um,
Oh yeah.
and then another thing that was one of my favorites was their um, snack sticks. I always took them in the woods with me. Like I
Hmm.
didn't have to eat dinner usually for a while because those things had a ton of protein and calories and stuff. So that was really good. That I liked about that came out. I wish they'd come out with some breakfast stuff
I agree. I'm all about that.
because I'm bad about breakfast. Like I don't have time to like make like pancakes or eggs or anything
Right.
healthy. So it'd be nice to have something to like take on the way.
Yeah, the caramel crunch bar and then those big sticks. Every single gym bag or hunting bag that I possibly have, they're all throughout my car. They're in everything because I refuse to go on a hunt without them. So I just stash
Yeah.
them everywhere to make sure I always have one.
Yeah. I'm actually looking at like 4 protein bars from Mountain House on my floorboard. Um, to wrap up a little bit, what is one thing you would tell someone, like say I'm asking you like, okay, I'm just starting, wanting to go to the gym to get in shape. I know consistency is a big thing. Um, Being motivated is a big thing, but like besides all that, like one thing you would tell a new person, a new client asking you like, hey,
Mhm.
turkey season's in May, deer seasons, in October, and I'm going to do some scouting this summer. What's some good exercises? Like, what's one thing that I should really focus on?
Honestly, I would say mobility. If it's somebody who, um, has a basic understanding of like, okay, I need to get stronger and I need to build my cardio. Just like at that basic understanding, a lot of people are going to overlook that mobility. Um, and so that's something I would really tell somebody to focus on. And then you don't have to go crazy hard in the gym if it's not something that you enjoy. I really do love, part of teaching whenever I was a teacher. I mean, I did elementary ed, but part of that was I'm not just teaching kids information. I am trying to teach them to love learning.
Yeah,
That is what I want to teach them. It's not just about the material. I want them to love coming to school, look forward to lessons. And that's how I mean, again, like you said, a lot of my teaching stuff comes into all of my coaching
yeah,
things. And I really just implement all the things as a teacher. And that's where I kind of fill that little void there of like, oh, I'm not a teacher right now, but I do get to still teach in a sense. And that's what I want when I personally program for others. I want them to love it because not everybody loves gym. I love it. So I don't
yeah,
understand. Like some people think it's a chore. So, depending on where the person is, where they're starting out, if they have a background or not, just plain and simple, it's like, okay, I know, maybe I should walk a little bit more. Maybe I should start jogging or, even if it's 2, 3 pound weights, maybe I should start using those more. I'm going to say, yes, you should, but also don't forget your mobility.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's like I growing up, I went to the gym like in high school because I played basketball, but like I didn't really know what we always did, just like free weights. So like we'd walk
Mhm.
in and just go to the bench press, do our bench press, and leave, and that was it. But now, like as
Yeah.
I'm getting older, I'm trying to like work everything and trying to um, put like a certain somehow I'm not doing a whole full body workout, but somehow each exercise is affecting each part of my body. Like today was my chest and shoulders day, but before I did anything, I walked a mile and a half on the treadmill because I want to keep my cardio up, especially in the winter. Um, so um, it's I've been that person where you walk in the gym and you don't know what you're doing at all. Like I
Mhm.
I go to Planet Fitness because I'm too sissy to go to the real gyms and I don't know what I'm doing. And like, what's nice about Planet is they have all the instructions on how to do it. And if you like don't
Mhm.
need to see a video, you can scan the QR code and all that. And I had like a couple guys that would come here and I would just follow them around. And I mean, I still look like an idiot walking around the gym, just looking at all the exercises and stuff, figuring out, okay, what's something new that I can try in here and stuff like that. But like you said, it's a learning process, and I guess mainly staying mobile, I guess is what you would say. Like just go there and just do something. So
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask for help. I mean, I know it's intimidating,
it
but
is.
we've all been there before. We've all been to a new gym or we've all done an exercise for the first time. And honestly, if someone's going to be mean about it, that's on them. That's not on you for just simply asking for help. So if you are somebody new going to the gym, I mean, for a long time I did home workouts. I didn't have to worry about the
Yeah,
whole gym thing and being around other people. And then we moved and I decided to start going to the gym again. Oh, I felt out of place for sure. And I might have known some things, but I don't know everything. And, it's new people in a new area. And I didn't even, know what the other part of the building was. Like it was, just different. And so just don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for like a year, there was a part of the gym that I hadn't even looked in yet because I was like too scared. Because I mean, I'd peek around the corner and there was a bunch of people and I'm like, I ain't touching that side because I don't know what happens. But like, I finally ventured in. I'm like, oh, what's this do and stuff like that. And um, but I think too, like going to the gym, then being at home is the accountability. I like that aspect, like going
Mhm.
there, and then like the environment too. Like in my opinion, like going there, just like it's like okay, I'm like happy to be here. Like I look forward to like it's. It takes me a minute to get in my car and drive to the gym, but once I'm in there, I'm like, I'm glad I came. Like this is awesome. Like
Right.
put on a good podcast or music or whatever, and grind it out for an hour or whatever. So,
Yeah, for
well,
the most part, the hardest part of going to the gym is just getting there and getting in the door. You don't feel like it when you're at home. You don't feel like it when you're sitting in the parking lot. You don't feel like it maybe until you start walking a little bit, then you start to feel better, then you get your first exercise in. It's like, okay, I'm glad I'm here.
yeah, yep. Well, Jaylyn, thanks for coming on here. Um, I hope some of my questions were clear and we were able to help some people out. Where can people find you if they want to, get uh, a routine for their exercises and stuff like that? Where can they find you at?
Yeah, so my main really source of communication and anything is just my personal Instagram. It's just Jaylyn_Luciano. I think there might be an underscore at the end of that too. Um, and then
I'm not
my email and phone number on there as well.
okay.
So
I'm sure you're pretty easy to find on there because there's not too many people with that last name. So,
yeah, not too many people.
well, thanks for coming on. You and Jake going to be at the outdoor show in February.
Yes, yep, we'll be
Awesome.
at the outdoor show. We'll be at the first half of it because I believe the second half we're gonna head out to the Western Hunt Expo.
Oh, okay. I'll say yeah. I'm going to be
Yeah,
the
they
same, but I'm
scheduled
going.
like they scheduled a whole bunch of trade shows all in the same week. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I'm going there for the first half. I'm working for a call company that I was at last year, and then the call company is sending me down to NWTF because it's the same.
NWCF.
Yeah.
Is that remind me which call company you were with?
Mountain Hollow Game Calls. They're
Okay, my friends Heather and Justin worked with them.
okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, so I went to college with Heather, and then both Heather and Justin were clients of mine at one point.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I actually just saw them not long ago. I did a mini session for her and her family.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna sign off here, but there's something I was gonna talk to you about off podcast. But anyway, thanks for coming on here and.